Support the CoCo Show and listen ad-free. Plus get cool perks and rad swag. Visit our page at patreon.com/thecoco show. Hi everybody, welcome to the CoCo Show. I'm John.
And I'm Aaron.
And today, Aaron, we're going to be talking about Starship Chameleon.
All right, man.
If you had a starship, would you name it Chameleon?
Hell no.
What would you name it?
Let me think. When I used to play Space Dynasty on the BBS, my outfit was called the Intergalactic Fascist Bully Boys. So I named my ship something like the initials for that.
What are the initials?
Listen, don't put me on the wrong.
I-J-T.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. That's all. What about you?
It's a lame name.
Listen, you're the kind of guy we'd bully.
Listen, first of all, I wouldn't have a starship.
Oh,
I don't roll that way. I'd have a shuttlecraft. Okay.
That'd be lamer.
No,
that's much lamer.
It would be cool. It'd be like the Defiant.
Yeah, but the Defiant's not a starship.
Right. Now you see where I'm going.
Yeah, you're gonna get smashed. Is what's gonna happen.
You don't think that the Defiant could take out a Galaxy-class Star Destroyer?
No, I don't.
You're probably
Defiant?
Right.
Why would you want a shuttlecraft over a starship?
It's maneuverable.
Let's talk about something more in line with this name. So you've got Jefferson Airplane.
Okay.
All right. Then you got Jefferson Starship.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Then they became just straight up Starship.
Straight up Starship.
And then you've got Jefferson Airplane came back. A lot of people don't realize that they came back
with
a horrible song without her. So what's your flavor? Which one of these? Which one's your favorite of those?
I've got one sentence for you.
Yeah.
We built this city.
Yeah.
I don't care about White Rabbit. That's probably one of the least cool songs of all time.
Everyone loves that song.
I don't
get it,
that.
man. I never, I like Graceland was really hot back in those days.
That's all she had going for her. She's like Debbie Harrison. It's the same.
Debbie Harry. But I didn't do it for me. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Starship, it was cheesy as hell.
It's so funny. Whenever I hear that song, because it's like, we built this city on rock and roll. It's like they couldn't figure out how to make it fit, so they just like suddenly came back to the. It's an odd thing.
Now let me tell you, if you want a rare treat, all right. There's a tremendous cover of that song by Ninja Sex Party.
Really?
It's one of their Under the Covers albums. I recommend it.
All right.
The Ninja Sex Party guy can go. Danny, he can sing. He can
where
sing.
Where are they out of? Ninja Sex Party.
Where are they out of? Time and space. They're Ninja Sex Party. They travel in time. They go in space. They do everything.
Are these one of these groups that made their living off the backs of YouTube?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm late to the party. I just got into them last year, but they do covers. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not a big guy that is really in the covers. But they do a good job. I like their original stuff more.
Yeah. Well, speaking of original stuff, let's talk about Starship Chameleon.
Starship Chameleon. Now, I will say, when this one came up, the name meant nothing to me. I was like, what? I don't remember that. And then the second it came on, I was like, oh yeah. I instantly remembered the opening screen. So this came out. This got a release in '82, Bode. And it was authored by a fellow named Ken Kalish. Now, we've actually talked about this guy before. He's done a ton. He's like a top shelf, prolific TRS-80 program. Now, listen to this list here. He did a game called Athletics, Danger Ranger, Devil Assault, Dungeon Raid, El Diablo. Now,
Diablo?
That's the way it's spelled,
okay.
Man. Now get this. See if you can identify what these games are may pay homage to. Okay, Invaders Revenge.
Space Invaders.
I've actually played that. Monkey King.
All right, I hope it's better than Donkey King.
No, it's not. Trap Fall.
Okay. Yes.
And then you'll remember this one, Phantom Slayer.
Oh yeah.
It's the same guy.
But Phantom Slayer actually an original concept.
Yes. Yeah. And so is this game.
Yeah.
Now, this was published by Computerware. Now, I looked up some of their titles. They looked at what Ken Kalish did and been like, yeah, listen to this. Listen to this lineup. You got Blockhead, my personal favorite, Nuke the Love Boat. We've got to try that one.
That one needs to go on the list.
The Magic of Xanth. They also did Doodlebug.
Okay.
All right. Junior's Revenge. You know what that is? Guess this one. You'll never get it. Megapede. Then you got Moon Hopper.
Okay.
And Mr. Dig.
Whenever you read these lists, it just makes me so excited for all the future shows that are yet to come on the CoCo Show.
And their names, their list just goes on and on. They did a lot of games. This will work on any of the color computers with 16K. And this, as far as I could tell, I found an ad for this that said it was $24.95. So there you go. But I don't know if that's disc or cassette.
That's pricey.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
$24.95 for a disc game?
I'm assuming it's a disc. The cassette ones are usually cheaper. So, what is this game, Boat? Why don't you take the helm or describe this game?
So, I guess I'll do it two ways. Okay. Imagine you're a ship. Okay, and you're flying around. It's like you're like a hovercraft. You have unlimited horizontal and vertical movement.
But I mean, I thought you were like an alien. He looks like he's got little eyeballs. Are those windows?
Yeah, it's windows.
Okay.
Okay, and there are aliens, evil aliens, hovering above you that are dropping things that look like missiles onto you. Okay.
Yeah, or bombs.
Or bombs. Yeah. Okay. Now, logic would dictate that you would not want these bombs to hit you because they are in fact bombs.
Right.
However, that is not your goal in Starship Chameleon. Starship Chameleon, your job is to collect the bombs. You want them to fall directly onto your head.
Yes.
Okay? Now,
or on top of your ship, depending on what you think you are.
Here is where the chameleon part comes in.
Yeah.
The bombs are multicolored. They can be blue, they can be yellow, and they can also have blue or yellow outlines.
Yeah.
Okay? What you want to do is when you press the button, your starship changes color. It can be either blue or it can be yellow. You want to match the bomb with the color of your ship. When you do that, you get points. When you don't do that, you die. And so that is Starship Chameleon. Actually, I don't know that you die. I think that you get. I think it's a thing where your score is lowered when you collect the wrong bomb.
No, well, you die. You actually
die. Okay,
yeah.
I couldn't remember because there are also sort of homing missiles that hone in on you.
Yeah,
that
smart missiles.
Yeah,
smart bombs.
They want to do you. They want to do you ill. Now that is sort of the abstract. I guess that's the literal explanation. The abstract explanation, if you are a fan of classic gaming at all, if you can picture, if you had unlimited vertical and horizontal movement and were playing Kaboom, and there were many less bombs that are dropped in the early levels than in Kaboom, that's sort of what this game is like. It's like Kaboom, but it adds a vertical travail element. That's the closest thing I can compare it to.
It's funny, I was on Curtis's site, lcurtisboyle.com, for all your TRS-80 needs, and I was reading his description, and he mentioned Kaboom in there, and I never had occurred to me.
Really? Because that was the first thing that came to me.
The first thing that occurred to me when I played this again was Ikaruga. That's exactly what occurred. Do you remember Ikaruga? Yeah. It's a game where you can basically bypass colors if you're the same color. But yes, and especially if you, this thing, when you start it, you get to pick the level you want to start at. Now, if you pick level 1, it goes at it's pretty easy clip. It's not that tough. You can play for a good while. So you know me, and I'm sure you did this too, I cranked this sucker up to 9, right, which is the highest level.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. This thing goes, impossible. You got 0%
Well,
chance.
really, I mean, obviously you're not going to be completing level 9, but there is sort of a perverse pleasure you can have in playing level 9 just to see how many points you can score there.
I will say this, and you may mock me, because I remember this game, and so the first thing I did was I got my Black Beauty out and hooked it up. This game, I would recommend the analog stick on. I think you've got better. I mean, this is a free-form Kaboom, like you said. You just go anywhere you want, and so that control of this particular type of game, in my opinion, that's just me. I felt like I had better control even with the Black Beauty because that analog stick, for me, and it could be mental, but for me, I felt like I had better control. I tried it with both. But I ended up going with the Black Beauty for most of the time.
Yeah, I just as I almost always do, I played this with the old Epix XJ500.
Yeah. Now, this game, like I said, has 9 levels. You're not going to play... Even 7 is incredibly difficult. So you're probably... I mean, hey, unless you're a real stud, and you may be, I can't see anybody cranking it up past, say, 5 or 6 at the max. You can play through it and have a pretty good time starting off at the first level and moving up. But it does get hard. I think this game is very clever, but I think they could have made it really clever as opposed to sort of clever. Because what I would have liked to have seen happen is, and you're right, your score is affected adversely if the missiles hit the ground, which that's cool. I would much rather have seen actually you sort of like a missile command stuff protecting thing.
Yeah.
Where you're actually protecting individual targets on the ground like cities or maybe your family or something like that.
And they could have done the same thing and just added that graphical element, move the ground up just a touch and just put some scenery down there.
Right. I mean, it is a very basic game. And we mentioned this works on a 16K CoCo. So they didn't really push the bounds of it. But this is one. Listen, this is kind of a neat concept, isn't it? I mean,
it's very unique.
And I'll tell you something else. And think about it. Think about it now. You get you a phone with a stylus. You could put this right on there, and you could really go to work on it, and maybe advance some of the concepts of the game. I thought about it quite a bit. I mean, even because it's sort of cutesy in a way. The guys that are bombing you are these 3 little red guys with little antennas. I don't know. I'd love to have seen. I didn't see documentation on this. I'd like to read the backstory. I'm just assuming it's some sort of.
I'm not familiar with the lore.
I'm assuming it's some sort of And I guess it is called Starship Chameleon. So I mean, you're right. It looks like you're flying around a little alien, but I guess that's a starship. You could have made it look a little more like a starship. It looks kind of, but I mean, it does fit the motif of the game. Also, I think the color scheme is an interesting choice. And by interesting, I mean wrong, horribly wrong. I would have went with something that wasn't green.
Well, I wonder if that might be part of what allows this to run on a 16K machine. Maybe there was something in the code on those old CoCos that you couldn't have a black background with the rest of these colors on the screen.
I mean, there could be limitations. I mean, but I mean, I've played other games like Demon Attack and stuff that had black, different background. So who knows? But you could be right. I will say when you die, there's a satisfying explosion. I wish there was a way to fight back because perpetually you're for the entire game you're catching and they're pitching and you never get to get even. As far as I know, I didn't get far enough to get even. I can tell you that, or anything. I didn't see anything happen that was any different. And you just sort of kept going.
Yeah.
Right now, I played for. I mean, I sat there and played this thing for probably I could play a game for 5 minutes or so, a good while.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you think by then, whatever was going to happen, I'm assuming has already happened.
Yeah, I really feel like this game it's a very unique concept, and there are a couple things that really would have put it over the top for me. Number one, you start this game taking off from the ground. Okay, so I would have liked to have seen a part of the game where at the end of the wave you have to return to the ground somehow and something happens, you get a score tally or something like that. I would like to see wave-based things happen. That's one of the that's probably
waves would have been good.
That's probably my number one problem with this game is that once it starts, it just keeps going.
You could feel like you were advancing if you had waves. That's a good idea, Bo. Right. I agree with that.
And then number two, I would like to see at least a little bit of some sort of offensive capability from your ship. I'm not saying that you have to give my ship laser beams and be able to shoot the red guys, but I would like to have maybe when they drop some sort of a special bomb, it has the ability to bounce back up and maybe hit them. That would be cool.
Or even if you had a wave at the end of catching all those bombs, there's a cute little cut scene or something where, I mean, it doesn't have to be a cut scene, where they just kind of two of them bonk together and they fly off the screen. You felt like something happened.
Yeah. So it's things like that would have really made this game feel more like a retail release rather than a public domain.
But it is fun. I will say that. And it's original. I was just looking at, we've got Curtis in the chat, and he mentioned that Ken picked the colors in this so they would be compatible with the Dragon. And I will say I have seen games that sort of this same kind of color makeup, and that if that's what it took, I guess that's why they did it.
Sure, and it's not a deal breaker. It's not,
but it's weird. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird looking. I've actually found I've looked at some reviews for this. I mean, they were super positive reviews. It got reviewed in a couple different places, but I found an outfit called Popular Computer Weekly, October 21st, 1982. I've never heard of this magazine, and what they are, they're a magazine from the UK that reviewed Dragon games, and they reviewed this game. They gave it a 70%.
Okay.
So this definitely got a power release because they got reviewed in a UK mag.
Before we get to the Discord reviews, I do want to mention that this is this week's high score challenge game over on the CoCo Talk Discord server.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so every once in a while we do sort of a crossover where the game that we review on the CoCo Show is featured on that on their high score challenge. So if you are a good hand at this, or even if you're not, if you just like to play it, go over to join up with the CoCo Talk Discord. You can just search CoCo Talk and Google it up, and they'll give you a link to the Discord, and you can post a photo of your screenshot, or just post your total on there. And they have a leaderboard and everything. It's a real fun thing to do.
They get really, because we both get on there and play, and they have some supremely skilled players. I thought I had a really good score the last one I turned in, and I ended up finishing 7th. And I was like, well, I guess that's better than last, but they're very good. So if you want to get some good competition going, this is a good game for it. This is a real good game to press for a score. So that I'm going to give it a shot myself.
Yeah, and you and I chose this game to be the pick this week. Every week I think they do a different game, so it's a good way to play some games that you might not otherwise play.
And while we're talking about it, CoCo Talk plays live every Saturday afternoon, and they go for hours and hours. So if you're on YouTube, just search for CoCo Talk, and you can watch some of their old shows or check out the live show if you're watching on a Saturday.
Now, we did get some Discord reviews over on our Discord server. Let's see if we go to here. L. Curtis B says, another great game by Ken Kalish. While at first glance it looks like another Kaboom clone, it adds enough to make it a unique game. You can move in 8 directions rather than just left or right. Scoring is different too, where you lose points rather than die if a bomb makes it to the bottom. And there is also a special hollow bomb that is worth 10 times a normal bomb score. There are also semi-intelligent aerial bombs that will fall at a fixed pace, but will steer towards you left and right as they descend and will kill you if you hit them. The best addition that really makes the game, in my opinion, is that the main bombs you catch also come in 2 colors, and you can only catch them if you're the same color. Hence the chameleon in the title. This makes the gameplay very different than Kaboom and more fun in my opinion. Decent graphics and good sound to fit into 16K, and great originality added onto an existing game genre that made it better than the original. A 9 out of 10 for me.
He really liked that one, eh?
Yeah. And Rushi says, I heard that this game was a bit of a Kaboom clone, but I did not expect for it to be a Kaboom clone mixed with the 2 color changing gimmick that became legendary decades later via titles like Ikaruga.
Ah,
there you
there's
go.
somebody.
Additionally, the negative scoring when the bombs hit instead of the loss of a life, the free movement across the playfield, and the homing shots reminiscent of compile shooters combine and turn this little surprise into a brilliant proto-puzzle shooter a la Routage, except many years before anything comparable ever existed. Don't let the primitive presentation turn you off from giving this a go, because it's definitely a gem worth your time! Exclamation point.
There you go.
Yeah.
Everyone liked it. It's
Yeah.
a win boat.
Absolutely. And as we come around to the end of the show, Aaron, I do want to remind everyone that we do record the CoCo Show live every Friday night. We start our recording session around 5:30, and I'd say that this is probably normal time, so we'll say around 8 o'clock Eastern time. We record a CoCo Show once a month. And it's always fun. You can join in with the chat. Nick Mars 68 is here in the chat. L. Curtis B, Buck Owens, Rushi MSX, Polyester Links is here. It's a good time in the old chat. And also, if you'd like to check out our other podcasts, we do a show on the ZX Spectrum called R. Sinclair, a show on the Amiga called Amigos. We've got 1200 XL, an Atari 8-bit podcast. All these are available through your favorite podcatcher. And finally, our YouTube channel, Amigos Retro Gaming, has a video archive of all our previous episodes. Plus, whenever we play or stream games, they all end up there.
Yep, you got it, man.
I'd like to thank, of course, L. Curtis Boyle, our CoCo Show Game Selection Committee member, for choosing this game for us. It was a good one. And I'd like to thank all of our CoCo Show Patreon supporters en masse. Steve Rasmussen, Buttons, Jeff Landreth, Graham Vebke, Wing Chun Wolf, and Curtis Boyle. Thank you guys for supporting the CoCo Show. And if you'd like to, patreon.com/theCoCo Show. All right, Aaron, next week, we're going to be taking a look at Berserk, otherwise known as Haywire.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll see you guys then. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.